And eventually I'd like to get a mount. There she goes. Like a chin mount on the helmet is what I want, but I didn't have enough things to get a good position on it, so I think I'll buy the one that looks like a strap and it kind of goes across. Let's see. No cars. Oh, tire pressure's a little low. Not low enough to worry about, but I want to top that off before next time I ride. Here's my visor all the way open. Oh, that's windy. It's chilly today. I mean, it's in the 7th way. I think my bike tells me what the temperature is. I don't remember where the buttons are. It's how long it's been since I rode the damn thing. So there we go. I got my visor closed. I need to pause the music. That's interesting, because having the music playing in the background I thought would kind of keep me in a vibe of how I normally ride, but to actually think about things to talk about and what I'm doing at the mic and all this new stuff is just way too distracting. It's not worth it. I'll turn music on later if I'm not talking anymore, if I run out of camera space. What we have is, like I said, an hour 19 on this card. This is a pretty small card, so I could get one that'll record a lot more. If I record at 4K 30 frames per second, I still get an hour. So that would be kind of cool to get a giant memory card for this and be able to record a long ride in 4K and then go back and get the highlights. But I think realistically most people are going to watch stuff on their mobile anyway. They're going to see it in 1080p or maybe 1440 depending on the size of the screen, and it's just not going to matter for the really high resolution stuff. It'll just be like, well, we have the capability, why don't we just do it? Because if I turn it down to 1080p, surprisingly it doesn't go up to like 2 or 3 hours, right? It's still only like an hour and 20 minutes of playback, which I think is interesting. And I wonder if that has anything to do with the stabilization that's built in, because it's recording a much larger area than you actually see on film, right? And it uses that extra area to wiggle its screen around and make things smooth. So those are other settings we can play with. I have it on the kind of middle ground one. I don't have it on the super, what's the feature even called? Like anti-shaking bullshit. Either way, like I don't have it on the top one because that really dampens movement. Whereas like if I kind of like do the squid thing and wiggle around, I heat my tires up, right? I wonder what that looks like with image stabilization. Yep. So this place on the right, this is why I need a helmet cam. So that place they put in some kind of exercise thing, right? And there's, just now, there's probably 30, I would say, early high school age kids, all like shirtless with their running clothes on, ready to go. And they're going for runs up and down this road. Like, dude, it's a 50-mile-an-hour road where everyone goes 60 because it's the only path to get to and from work. No matter what direction you go from here, you're 10 minutes from a highway. And it's just, and people don't want to be on it. They get stuck behind each other. They get all kinds of angry. And now we got kids jogging and biking up and down it. And it's just like, one of these days, man, one's going to get hit. And it's like, I don't understand their obsession with going the other direction, right? Because to me, it's like you run this way and then this path on the right, there's miles and miles of park here that they can run on and do whatever exercise they want to do without having to worry about getting hit by a damn car. And there's actually a greenway they built that goes all the way into town, and then they can follow another greenway all the way over to the next city. There's like something like 60 miles of continuous greenway where all you have to do is cross at a crosswalk like a responsible human being. And instead, I'm out here wondering which day, oh, look at that Pontiac. I've seen that guy a couple times this week. The thing's amazing. yeah, and it's like one of these times I'm going to come home from work and it's not going to be a deer in the ditch. It's going to be some kid. It's a little much. And it's the other part, like road bikers, right? Share the road. Everybody share the road. And I don't mind people want to get out and exercise and, you know, get your thing done. Like my dad bikes a lot. Granted, he has really easy access to greenways where he's at. So he did his first 100-mile bike ride and he didn't go on a road. He crossed roads, but he didn't have to physically go on a road. And they're all giant greenways and plenty of space, so you're not like screaming Strava at people and blowing past them at, you know, 20 miles an hour. But the point being, he's able to get a lot of exercise in quite safely. Whereas once COVID hit, people were stuck at home, and it was a ghost town, right? Like I go to work and there's nobody on the roads because there's only a handful of us that are, you know, considered essential, whatever you want to call that. And had to go in and had to go to customer sites to get things done. And even then you'd go to these sites and they're completely void of people. You'd have like one security guard that's, you know, running away from you as soon as you sign the paperwork, and then you go get your job done and keep your mask on when you leave. But now it's like nothing's changed, right? There's still the same risk. People are starting to get sick even faster. It's because look at us now. It's a Tuesday and there's traffic everywhere. People going to do what they would normally do as if there's nothing going on. It's like when I go to work and there's people that they don't want to wear theirs. They think it's a government conspiracy. I'm just like, dude, all I want you to do is leave me alone. I don't want to hear about your dumb ideas. I'm going to have my mask on. I'm going to do my job. I'm going to get my paycheck so I can feed my kid, and I'm going to go fuck home. Now we're in on it because some little shit at daycare brought it, right? So a kid in my son's class tested positive for COVID. And my mother, right, she's like, well, aren't they checking the kids when they come in? It's like, yeah, they're checking the kids. They put a thermometer on their head. They make sure that they don't have any symptoms and all this other junk. And it's like, well, at the same time, these daycares are no different than the nursing homes. They're just a petri dish for things to spread around. So this kid got tested positive. And the last time he was in daycare with my son was on the 30th, which was 5 days ago. It's like, if he gave it to my kid 5 days ago, I probably have it, and I've been going to work, and my parents came over to visit, and we'd have no fucking clue. And this kid didn't have symptoms, right? His parents had symptoms, and his parents tested positive. And so now they took the kid in, and sure enough, their kid tested positive. So it's just annoying, right? And then because it's the infant room, right, these kids can't wear masks. So they're crawling around, you know, they stick their hands in their mouth and then they crawl over to another kid and they stick their hand in that kid's mouth, and the kids are just filthy. But they're growing so fast and they have good immune systems, so they don't show symptoms, they just carry it, they bring it home to the rest of us. So the daycare is shutting down for a day for cleaning, and then they're like, well, that kid's not allowed back until he tests negative and does his quarantine. Well, it's like, hold up a minute, like, no kids should be coming back unless they have a negative test. Like, you can't just have this kid crawl around, give it to everybody, and be like, well, the rest of them are probably fine. It's like any parent that doesn't take their kid to get tested like we did. It's like, it's pretty irresponsible, right? So, but then, of course, you get the guys at work that would say the tests are fake and that they don't work well enough. It's all just a big sham. Sit around and call me sheeples. It's like, I looked at a couple of my other buddies, you know, we're all veterans. It was like, really? It's like, you're gonna call people a sheep? It's like, we were in the military. It's like, we are the biggest government sheep on the planet. We signed documents that said we will be sheep and sent out to the slaughter. So it's like, give me a break. What I should probably do is open the visor up just a crack and see what that sounds like and talk about the same topic. So here's just a single crack in my visor so that I can get a little bit of airflow. It's a colder day out, so I'll probably put it back down because I just got to imagine that the audio is 10 times better with it, with the visor down. But who knows if it's got this dead cat thing on it. I don't want to talk too loud at intersections because people might think I'm weird. Ugh. we all go straight, so it won't be any fun. We will see. Focus. The other cars. Don't stop. Go. Go, 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 go. Yeah, boring. How to be boring. Super bored. I should just do a lap. What I might do is, they want us to go straight, but I want to see what's left. Oh, that truck's really boogieing. We'll let him go by first. Pull in front of that and get fucking knocked out. Garbage guy. Ooh, look, dirt. Probably take this thing out of dynamic and put it in like the first enduro mode, just so that the brakes kind of know that they're on dirt. Well, this packed stuff is pretty packed, and I'm not going wild. We don't need anything special. We just hang out, keep it under 40. Everyone will be happy. This is where you get some dude pickup truck flying around here, taking up the whole road, going 60. I live back here and I know all the corners. Yeah. Like, see, this is where it's nice to have a GPS, because instinctually I would go right, but that would take me diagonal back to the road I was already on. But I can glance down and see that if I go left, I'm going to have a 90-degree right and be able to continue heading north in the direction I want to go. Corner store open during construction. This says to go right, but there is a road that goes up to 8 Mile if I go left. So we're gonna go left. Don't get hit by a car, don't get hit by a car. I don't see anybody. Yeah, having a GPS, oh, it's so good. And then I have a phone mount too, which I don't think my current phone's waterproof. My old one was, and I left it on there in a rainstorm. Just like, oh, phone's waterproof. I can leave it up and have Waze on and find hotels and whatever else. But it ended up that it knows when the charging port's wet. So even though it is waterproof, it won't let you charge the phone until the port's dry. So I'm there with super low battery in a hotel room, just completely drenched gear, with the hairdryer just sitting on the counter, pointing at the bottom of the phone, trying to find that balance where it's like it gets some heat into it to help dry the charging port out, but not so much that I reflow all the solder and ruin my phone. So, yeah, good times, right? Like, this guy must get people in his yard all the time. He's got all these rocks lined up. Like, that's all fine and dandies, but like, your grass will regrow. Like, you're gonna have somebody that maybe they are driving like a jackass. Maybe they come around this corner too quick, you know, ram me into the rocks. But it's like you're gonna let their whole car get ruined just because you're worried about your grass. It's kind of a dick move. Like, at the same time, it's their property, right? Keep your car on the road. Boo, red light, boo. At least this Dodge is going straight. Green light, yay. I'm gonna need to get fuel at some point. Everything's all dusty and gross, like, I get nervous. Maybe I'm just being a big baby, but at the same time, like, I'd rather go a little slower around the corner than low side at 25 miles an hour. So there's that. But yeah, it's like, especially up by one of our facilities, there's a landfill like 2 miles away, and there's complaints about it all the time, and I don't know if they fine them or not. Obviously if they do, it's not enough, but they don't use their wash station. Like, landfills will have a big wash station. They're either a submersion style where the truck goes down into the water and it gets most of the dirts and nasties off, big chunks of mud and stuff and clay, so it doesn't get all over the roads. And the other kind just have sprayers that spray the side of the trucks, and they, even though the water's brown and nasty looking, they do a pretty good job. Ooh, sheriff. They do a pretty good job of getting the stuff off the truck so it's not all over the road. Well, we have for miles outside of this landfill. You know, it looks like this intersection, right? Just big chunks of dirt and debris. It's like, what is this stuff? Like, there's a whole bunch of crap in the middle of the road. You get flat tires from it. The garbage trucks are always dropping nails and shit off of them. It's super annoying. It's like, yeah, it's another one of those things where, I mean, look at the ride today. It's mostly straight roads with cars in the way, and then really dirty, grubby, gravelly corners. So you don't know, like, can I really hit this at a decent speed where it'll be a fun 90 degree after all of these straight roads? Or am I going to, you know, rocket my bike into the side of somebody's car and crush my leg? So this is why in the past I just stopped riding on the street in Michigan, right? It's because every time we do a trip out west or even to Appalachia, like, all the roads are fun, there's not as much traffic, everything is just plain better. And then you get back here, you get back home, and you get out on your bike, and it's not like, I like being on the bike, I enjoy it, but it's not like it's exhilarating, right? I guess it's like a drug, right? You start doing the heavy stuff like that. Like, what's Colorado? It's like the cocaine of motorcycle riding. And then you come back to Michigan, and you're like, how the hell am I going to get high on this hand sanitizer? Right? So you get out, do what somebody's got. Oh, first gear? No, I want second gear. God, I'm riding like garbage. It's okay, though, because I haven't crashed yet. But I do like, you like the feeling, you like the smell, and you can see, like, I can look around at stuff that you just wouldn't notice in a car. I can stand up, stretch my legs out. Oh, we should test that. So here we are, 55 miles an hour standing, visor closed, see what the audio's like. We got a flag man, son of a bitch. Oh, I need to get fuel. But really, do I really? It says I have 50 miles. And I know, because this is supposed to be like a 9-gallon tank on the Adventure model. And I can constantly, when I fill up, I'm only putting like 6, like light comes in, and I put on like 6.5 gallons. So I think we'll ignore the fuel light and just get our parts and get home. And then next time I go for a ride, I'll fill up. It's nice having that range. Still recording. The red light's on, screen's off. I'll be interested with that screen off, how long the battery lasts. So we'll be able to tell just by when it stops recording. I bet the lady makes way more money than I do. This is what I'm going to do, because they're giving out all this money for infrastructure changes, right? All the states are trying to get money for infrastructure. It's like, I could probably apply, get one of these union road jobs, and probably make close to what I'm making now, if not more, if they let me do overtime. Shit, even if I make 10 grand less a year, is it really that bad to have a government job? They weren't. Yeah. That's what I ought to be doing. Get myself a pension plan.